Next we have function notation. So in the past we wrote y equals 3x plus 4, and if we wanted to evaluate it for a value of x, we'd say when x equals 1. And what we would do is y equals 3 times 1 plus 4. Well, 3 times 1 is 3, so 3 plus 4 is 7. And there's our answer. Well, now we're all big and grown up. We're in Algebra 2. So we're going to start writing things with function notation. You're going to see this f of x. Sometimes you'll see g of x, h of x. They all mean the same type of thing. So f of x means this function of x. Now, if I want to plug in a number for x, I'm going to say f of 1, or maybe f of negative 3, or whatever I'd like to plug in for x, I will put that in the parentheses. That does not mean f times 1 or f times x. That's not at all what it means. It means a function of x or a function when 1 is plugged in for x. So we do it the same way. 3 times 1 plus 4. We plug that 1 in wherever we see an x. Sometimes you'll see a couple x's, sometimes you'll see one x. So we still get 7. Next question we have is, which is the independent variable versus the dependent variable? The way I like to think about it is, I get to choose what I plug in for x. And whatever I plug in for x, something comes out for y. So my x variable would be my independent, so x is independent, and my y is my dependent. Here's the reason why. If I plug in 1 for x, I get 7 for y. If I plug in 2 for x, I get 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4 is 10 for y. I plug whatever I want in for x, and I get something for y. The y comes after I plug in the x. So my x is independent, my y is dependent. In this example, we're going to use what we just learned about function notation. I have this function, g of x equals 2x squared minus 3x. It says find g of negative 2. Remember, that's not g times negative 2, that's g of negative 2, meaning I'm going to take this negative 2 here and I'm going to plug it into my function for all my x's. All my x variables will be replaced with a negative 2. Let's write it out. G of negative 2 equals 2 times, and I always write these numbers in parentheses. Anytime I'm plugging a number in for a variable, I put it in parentheses. Negative 2 squared minus 3 times negative 2. The reason why parentheses are important, mainly because of this exponent up here. We'll get to that in just a second. So first off, I always deal with my parentheses first. Remember PEMDAS. Well, there's no operations that need to be done inside these parentheses, so now I go to my exponents. Negative 2 squared is going to give me positive 4. Now, if that negative 2 were outside of parentheses and I squared it, it would give me negative 4. But since it's in parentheses, we have negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So I have 2 times positive 4. And then I have this negative 3 times negative 2. Well, I know negative and negative is going to give me a positive, and I have 3 times 2 is 6. I like to deal with my signs first, then I multiply. It helps me keep things in order. Lastly, we have 8 from the 2 times 4 plus 6, which gives me 14. So g of negative 2 equals 14, meaning when I plug in negative 2 from my x values, I get 14